Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. Tonight we have Jeb and Grant. A lot going on this week. Little did we know. We thought it was going to be a quiet one, no basketball games, which frankly was a little boring. I was like, what are we supposed to do?
Exactly. What are we going to talk about?
Exactly. Especially with an action-packed week coming up. We got Arizona Wednesday night and then Alabama A&M. So back in action before another lull, I think right before Christmas and then into January. But little did we know, boys, big portal news hit last week. Achor, our star from last season, out at Kansas State. A little asterisk here, or a little, behind the scenes. We did know that while he was at Samford, there was a lot of hand-holding by the administration to get him through class, to get him through certain other elements of being a Division I athlete. And in a school like Samford, when you have a star player like that, you're willing to expend that extra energy. Not so shocking when you get to a Kansas State where there's four of you, literally at your own position, that there's going to be a little bit less hand-holding. Not saying that that's what caused it, but it looks like it could be academic. It's surely not his actions. I mean, for all we know, Achor's a nice guy. He's not like he's picking fights at practice. So we're just guessing it's academic related. Hopefully it's not Kansas State trying to save some NIL money. Hopefully Achor got his bag, but alas, Achor out at Kansas State. We don't know if he's expended his final year of eligibility. That is TBD. But Grant, dude, you tweeted about it. Got some heat. Grant, run that tweet by us.
Sure. 13,000 views, December 11th, which was last Thursday. It came out that Achor maybe have left the team. Then it became a saga where Kansas State said he was kicked off the team, and then a few hours later said, no, we decided to part ways. So literally, Kansas State kind of fumbled the whole situation. We still don't really know what happened. But it led me to think, what has happened to the guys that have left Samford via the portal, whether it's before NIL was a thing and leading to this point. And I just wanted to pose the question in the most general way I could possibly say it. What kind of portal successes has Samford had from guys leaving Samford to go elsewhere? I kind of went down the list. Here's what I tweeted. Plenty of portal successes, but for guys leaving Samford, there hasn't been a major success story yet anyway. So I went down the list. Quez Glover. He originally left at BYU. He left in the summer because his NIL package didn't materialize. He goes to Kansas State. His knee gets hurt again. He ends up missing the whole season and then transfers out of Kansas State and now became an NIL preferred walk-on at Ohio State, basically using NIL as a scholarship spot. Sadly, he's hurt again. He's been out 4 to 5 games. Chor, he jumped in the portal on the last day, as everybody remembers, because he told the team he was coming back and then decided to get in the portal list. And he plays in 7 games at Kansas State. AJ State McCray, he's starting right now. He is playing well, but Miami
There's still hope.
There's still hope, but Miami as a team is not good. They're 4-7. They just lost to Tennessee. They beat Presbyterian last, but still, they were on a 5-game losing streak. Miami's 4-7, slated to be kind of struggling in the ACC, a good basketball conference. Jaron Riley, he's a starter. He's kind of figured it out, but he's a starter in Northern Colorado.
The ACC is a good basketball conference?
Well, it is historically a good basketball conference.
Jeb didn't unmute there. Can't take the heat, Jeb?
I missed that one. I'm sorry. What was that, Sam?
Nothing. All right, Grant, we got Jaron Riley.
Yeah, Jaron Riley transferred to Northern Colorado. Again, he's playing well, but North Colorado last year missed the tournament, and then they need to obviously get the auto bid in the Big Sky. They're 6-5 already, so he is playing a little bit, but in terms of team success, there hasn't been a whole lot. Wesley Cardette, he's not.
It wasn't really Jaron's fault. He saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah,
program is moving in a different direction. Guy just wanted playing time. Anyway,
yeah, that's fine. The Dallas Graziani situation, if you will.
Yeah.
Wesley Cardette, who was once, or I guess he technically still is, Samford's highest ever ranked basketball recruit. He's now starting at Providence, but he was at Chicago State for 2 years with his uncle. Chicago State was one of the worst teams in the entire country over the last couple of years. I'm pretty sure I can count with my 2 hands how many games they actually won over his time at Chicago State.
It's crazy.
So in terms of just successes, team success, there hasn't been a whole lot of guys that have gone on to play well. So I was literally just posing the question, actually Chicago State won 13 games last year and the year before, but still they were
Got a lot
struggling.
of
One of the worst
fingers there, Grant.
programs. Yeah, I know, right? Well, what's going on? Yeah, exactly. Casually known as one of the worst programs in the entire country. He's now at Providence, so really, I'm all for guys leaving and taking whatever offers. We obviously would do the same thing, but in the end, just posing the question the most general way possible: is this actually worth it for guys leaving Samford and going on to quote greener pastures, as people like to call it?
If you measure the literal amount of money that you're receiving, yeah, 9 out of 10 times, it's probably a yes, right? I'm just venturing out there that Samford isn't outbidding Miami when it comes to NIL or Kansas State.
Yeah.
But nothing you put out there is not just straight to the facts. And
Yeah.
it sucks that Quez always gets hurt, but we know that. And we also know that sometimes an injury isn't an injury with Quez. Sometimes if it's just adversity, it gets that little Caleb Williams limp, if you will.
Yeah.
But so we don't have to rehash everything, Grant.
Yeah,
but a
that takes
former
forever.
guest of the podcast did not take kindly to your tweet. Now, granted, other than the anonymous texter or DMer, it seems like he was the only one in his corner. But could you just summarize his take? Because I don't see any fireworks or celebration going on behind you, meaning that you were not necessarily excited for what you had to tweet.
Yeah, I didn't put out there celebrating, oh gosh, I'm so glad these guys went to losing programs or have been losing recently at AJ. And obviously Miami could still turn around. But he reposted, said, respectfully, this post sucks. Been you saying I was celebrating the failure of the best player on the best team in program history, basically saying that I went in trashing Achor for leaving Kansas State for more money when he got, quote, kicked off the team, as they called it, or basically just agreed to part ways with Jerome Tang and company. So he was upset at the fact that he thought that I was basically trashing the guys for leaving Samford, and then we went back and forth for way too long than I thought I was going to from this one tweet. But he was struggling to find my point of saying what I said the most general way possible, that these guys really haven't found team success when it comes to getting outside of the Samford bubble.
Well, I mean, I think what happened, and we've all been on a little schoolyard fight where one kid says something dumb, and then when he tries to double down, it ends up just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, it was to the point where he was trying to argue that even as fans, people should celebrate these guys when that is the furthest thing from the truth. If you're a fan of any team, you expect 100% loyalty, even to a fault. So some of the stuff he was saying was absurd. And the fact that the best point, Grant, everyone benefits from the transfer portal, or every program has been a winner in the transfer portal, is the literal most absurd take I've heard on the transfer portal. It is the quintessential zero-sum game when we're talking about football, basketball, baseball. The transfer portal has winners and it has losers.
Also, someone outside. Go ahead, Jeb. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to take the other side on this. Like, at least the players themselves, like, if they're making more or their NIL deals are larger, they're at least winning from that perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But the institutions are not.
The prestige of the program that they're going to, right? We can't go without acknowledging the fact that, like, we're a Samford podcast that covers Samford basketball, and we're not going to hide in the fact that, like, we support Samford basketball, right? But we also cover Samford basketball, so we have to be objective sometimes. But, like, also that means, right.
I was objective,
like, Miami is a way more, like, historically, like, prolific and prestigious basketball program than Samford.
Right?
For
sure.
Like,
So same with Kansas State.
If you're a player, why would you not want to go to Miami, right? To go play basketball. Play basketball in Miami. Like, there's that allure for players you're getting paid more, you're getting to play at a program like that. If you're losing, like, no one wants to lose. But it's a win for the players, from that
For sure.
perspective, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
both
I
things
agree
are
with you,
certainly
Sam.
true.
I'm just
Jim.
saying, I have to call out that fact, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, if all three of us were offered $200K to go play basketball in Miami, not saying that's what he was offered, but just figuratively speaking, yeah, we're all
Sign me up.
mashing accept.
Miami? Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Then I responded to him, so I'm not denigrating them or trashing them in any way. I have zero problem with anybody making money, as I've been saying. I'm just merely laying out the facts. And he responded, "I'm sure none of them would have any problems with your post." I said, "I would love to talk to these guys. That would be great. If they could show me a copy of their pay stubs too, that would be great too.
I mean,
kind of help my side a little bit. But yeah, I would love to talk to these guys about what they've gotten and the situations are like for sure."
Of course, they don't have a problem with the post. It's their life they're living. They understand exactly what has happened and what has not happened. Quez understands that he is yet to put a full season together uninjured. Achor understands he's been kicked off the team. AJ understands that Miami sucks, even if he's playing well. Like they know. What's insulting is he posted that because he has such little respect for the intelligence of the players on the post grade. How do they not know their own life? It was unbelievable.
Like Jeb said, we cover Samford. We talk with people inside who know Samford on the outside too. To think that someone on the outside knows more than we do about conversations that we've had with certain people and whatnot, it's just mind-boggling to me that they would take the side of them trashing the players, and we know exactly what's been going on and are in it every day, which is why we feel like we know more than obviously everybody else who's on the outside. But so yeah, that was my Tuesday. How was everybody else's Tuesday?
Yeah, and to that point, Grant, obviously we all love AJ. He was a great guest on the podcast. Was always willing to give a midway season breakdown of what was going on, and we appreciated that.
Yeah.
And we weren't screenshotting the messages that we sent to AJ, congratulating him on his move to Miami or anything like that. Like that's crazy. And then he posts the DM. Oh, that was the cherry on top. So yeah, former guest of the pod. Safe to say we'll never be coming back on the podcast. But yeah, crazy Tuesday last week.
I also agreed with 2 Furman accounts. So if that tells you what argument that I'm on, that I'm on the right side.
Over. Exactly.
I don't know. We could maybe do like a Grant 1v1 podcast.
It would. I got to be careful what I say here. Despite how much crap I give Grant for his lack of intelligence, he would wipe the floor. He would wipe the floor in a one-on-one podcast. But yeah, so Achor is out.
Turn on some Stephen A. film, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, exactly. Any other comments? We can move on. But that was a fun Twitter battle. Which, I mean, I re-downloaded Twitter just to get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a fun time.
Yeah, again, I didn't set out to do this, right? I was merely laying out, okay, this is what's happened, and then this is what maybe one of the most engaged posts I've had of people responding and giving their opinion, which is basically what I asked for, which is perfect. But speaking of Achor, he's not going to continue playing college basketball. His plan is to go overseas and play pro somewhere. So,
but Jeb, any other comment? And before we move on to Arizona.
No, I think we covered it, man. I just I've been sitting here all week looking for some more Twitter drama, to be honest.
I just want one. It's Christmas. We all need to be happy. I want 1 week where everybody just chills and we're super.
We can drum some up, baby. We can drum some up.
I did have to call this out.
But if we beat Arizona, then
in
I'll
the
be
same
over.
week
Yeah.
we had the Furman. Hold on, Grant. Hold on.
No, go.
In the same week, we had the Furman forums calling us out for being morons and hobos.
So good.
Later in the week, the Furman fans are defending Grant on Twitter for being objective about his observations.
What a world.
It's crazy. What a world.
See, I just bring people together. I don't know what's the big deal here.
What's
I
funny
just want one stress-free week.
I haven't spent too much the Furman message boards, but I can tell you this. They do not have a Cujo that is present on our Samford message board. My favorite poster. The dude just brings the heat and with it the truth. Especially loved one of his more recent posts on football, the Missouri Valley Conference. If you aren't a member of the message board, literally Google Samford message board, sign up, post. I never post, but I lurk. It's a good time. All right, Arizona preview. So you notice there was no Around the Horn this week. We had to get right into the Achor drama because, what else? But we got Arizona. Very fun 9 o'clock tip. That's 9 o'clock Eastern, not Mountain Time, correct? Or are they Pacific? I think they're Mountain.
They actually have their own time zone.
Yeah, they don't do DST.
Yeah, Arizona, so. I honestly, Arizona's, we'd have to look it up, and we might have to. But it's.
Come on, guys, let's get our brain cells together. Come on.
I don't think they're on any of those time zones, Sam.
Oh, right. Well, they don't do, they alternate because they don't do daylight savings. They just.
Exactly.
Alternate.
Yeah, they just alternate. So it's.
And I'm not going to think about that too much.
I could not tell you what they're on right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm a moron.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's excellent point. Excellent point.
Hobo. You're hobo.
Anyway, though, guys. All right. So we marked the Arizona and Michigan State games, obviously before the beginning of the season. Michigan State game was epic. Arizona is setting up to be just as epic. Interesting. Okay. Before we dive too deep, the program for the Wildcats is not in a good spot this season. A quick Google search will lead you to the following headlines.
Oh, no.
Rock bottom. Oh. Tommy Lloyd looking for answers. Rebuilding year in effect.
Love that.
So not good signs. But the reverse of that is it's an even worse, or to pair with that is it's even worse sign for Samford because Arizona has not been playing up to par. They wipe the floor against lesser competition and then lose to equal or greater competition. It's a team who's looking for chemistry. Their big man Mo is out with an injury. He's the 7'2" Eastern European name guy. I'm not going to try to say his name. Great.
Yeah, I just wanted you to try to say his last name before I
try
it.
No shot. But Mo is out. And then here comes Samford. They just dropped one to UCLA. They're up 13 halfway through the second half. Everything's looking good. And then they botched it. They're 4-5. And here comes Samford. All ready for it to go one of two ways. To regain their composure and their confidence and destroy us. Or if that the rock bottom article was behind a paywall. But I would love to see what that newspaper publishes if Samford pulls off the upset. Because by golly, if they thought losing to a ranked UCLA team was a rock bottom, just wait till the Samford Bulldogs pull off the stunner in Tucson. Oh, boys. We got an interesting matchup coming up.
That's incredible. Yeah, I can't click on the article, too. Let me just read the first few sentences. Tommy Lloyd hit a new low. With the Wildcats playing terrible, is there any way they can turn it around? Yeah.
Hopefully not. I mean, guys, they can't score the ball.
They can't shoot.
Score.
No, they were 2 of 16 from 3 against UCLA. They're 306th in the country, and three-pointers made per game was 6. They only attempt 21 per game, so it's still 6 of 21, 30%. They can't shoot from deep. Michigan State was kind of the same way, although they picked it up a little bit. I would expect kind of the same game plan that Bucky ran out against Michigan State to kind of use that on Arizona to force them to hit some outside shots and hope that you can limit them on the offensive board, especially with the amount of size that they have on the inside.
Yeah, and look, we're not UCLA. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we're UCLA, but UCLA pressed and forced 22 turnovers.
There you go.
22 turnovers. They didn't have an answer for the press, so that's a problem. It's going to be interesting to see if we can press as effectively. I think we're decently athletic. But like I said, we're not going to sit here and pretend like we're UCLA athletic.
Yeah.
But susceptible to the press. A couple of their key players, Jeb, you're familiar. Caleb Love, your favorite UNC player of all time. Tyler Hansbrough, take a seat.
Tar Heel legend.
Hey, he got the Tyler Hansbrough part right.
Brady Manick, who? No, it's Caleb Love. Oh, I miss you, Brady. Yeah, oh, yeah.
I miss Mannix so much. But Jeb, give us a little insight into Caleb. You watched him at UNC for what, 3 seasons?
Yeah, he's a very frustrating player to watch on your team. I'd say overall, I'd equate him to Russell Westbrook, but not Russell Westbrook at all.
There's a Duke fan right now listening to this who is dying.
And
continue,
you
Jeb.
know,
Russell Westbrook, but
it's
not.
just like the uncalled for 3-pointers, like from half court, or that are just at random times, and just the ball hogging, and it's just like, why? And then he'll go on these hot streaks, and you're like, all right, I like this guy, and then
The greatest player
he
of all
won't,
time. Yeah.
right? And so he goes cold very fast. He gets hot very fast, and then it'll just turn off. So he's obviously he's a very good player when he's hot. But he can get very cold, and that's when it gets frustrating.
Well, so it's probably not a good thing then that he's the leading scorer on the team at 13 points a game. 13 points a game. We're going to read Alabama A&M. There's some eerie similarities between the offensive struggles of both teams. But Caleb Love, leading scorer at 13 points. Jaden Bradley, he's second on the team with 12 points, but he leads his team in assists and steals. This cat's good. And then Trey Townsend, he scores 11, shoots about 30% from 3. Probably just a consistent, typical guard. Then their big men, Toby Awaka and KJ Lewis. Toby's the leading rebounder and KJ's leading shot blocker. Those guys are good and will cause problems. But as far as the guards, I mean, shoot, we have a shot. Jeb, your brother is at Arizona currently. Has he – I didn't ask you this before we started, but has he said anything about the team? What are the vibes? Are the vibes as bad as the internet?
Should have him on for preview.
Should have.
You
know, I should have. Yeah, we should have.
He's been on before.
He's been on the podcast before. We should do a preview Wednesday. I don't know.
Well, when we win, we'll do an emergency pod at midnight, and we'll get him on there.
Sweet.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Crying.
That'd be great. Yeah, he'll be right there in Tucson.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we haven't really talked much about this, other than the fact that, hey, man, like, you know, you got to at least make it over to the game for this one. He has his opinions, though. He has his opinions.
Well, is he buying the team, or does he think? I mean, the rebuild here in effect headline is wild.
He's not. So at the beginning of the season, he totally was bought into this team at Arizona. As far as it goes now, I think he would. Around Thanksgiving, we were talking about it, and he was like, look, you guys are about to get slapped, you know, like we would from Purdue, right? Or
fair. Yeah.
Sure.
I just don't think that's the case. Like, I mean, we can be a little too optimistic on this podcast
all the time.
And I'll acknowledge that to the listeners. Like, we're optimistic sometimes. I mean, it's a Samford podcast, guys. Of course we're optimistic.
Oh, I forgot to put Samford Homer in my Twitter bio. Dang it, I forgot about that. He called me that too. Hold on one second. Sorry, go ahead, Jeb.
I have to cover up my hat.
Yeah.
Yes, we're Samford podcast.
All right, so Samford, we're second in the nation in scoring. Is that right?
Correct.
Yep.
Second only to Kentucky.
To Kentucky. So I mean, it's like, we're both averaging 90 points a game or something like that.
Granted, our strength of schedule thus far is.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Let me pull that up. Continue your thought, though, Jeb.
No, I mean it just. Everyone will always make the argument like, oh, well, you guys don't play against like the same type of talent as like Arizona, like a Big 12 team or an ACC team or whatever it is. I think that applies to an extent in college basketball, but just not as much. Like, you can't copy and paste the way that we think about these things in college football to basketball.
Yeah.
If it's a good team, any team can beat any team at any time in college basketball, and we know that because we love March, right?
Mm-hmm.
For that. So, yeah, just like an injured Arizona Wildcats, coming in, a beat up Arizona Wildcats coming into this game, like, feels good for us. But obviously
it feels possible. That's
it feels
the thing.
possible. I'm not going to be like a homer and be like, we're going to win this game. I don't know.
If I had $100, I'm not putting it on Samford. I might
it
put it
would
on
be a
Samford
win.
cover.
Sam, it would be a win if we just like hung in there with Arizona like we did Michigan State.
Yeah. So
that's a win for us.
To give everybody
opinion.
a little perspective, I agree, Jeb. To give you all some perspective, currently in the Kim Palm, Michigan State is 17, Arizona's 31. Arizona's strength of schedule is 20th. Ours is 274th. So, considering we are hanging out in the mid 110s in the Ken Palm, a strength of schedule of 274, you would hope that we're putting up a lot of points or just playing insane lockdown defense. We're doing the former. So Arizona, while they're not scoring, while they cannot shoot the ball, as I said, they've beat the lesser competition. I mean, just running through their schedule, I had it pulled up. So they are currently, they're 4-5, but they beat, I don't know how to say that university, Canisius.
Canisius.
Yep. It's Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
For sure. They beat them 93-64, so they scored points. Old Dominion, 102-44, scored points. Davidson, 104-71, scored points. Southern Utah, 102-66, scored points. It's the games UCLA where they only score 54, or Duke where they only score 55. That is really kind of putting a damper on the numbers, so to speak.
They have the powder in the keg.
Exactly.
They can play with us. Yeah, and put up 100 points. I'll be shocked
if we hold them to 50. That'd be insane. If we, guys,
with the way our defense has been playing, absolutely not.
If we held them to 50, we won by 50. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So the Arizona is certainly better than what these headlines are trying to project. I think they're just in panic mode because they haven't beaten a good team all year. They've lost to like every good team they've played. They've just lost. A lot of them have been close. But L's are L's to any fan base.
Yeah, the games they've lost, they've all been P4. They've all been P4 opponents too. Wisconsin, Duke, undefeated Oklahoma, West Virginia, and then UCLA. So I mean, they have like that SOS, like you talked about, Sam, has been pretty high, even if they're 291st in the country and shooting 30% from three.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Jeb?
No, I was just saying, obviously, where does Old Dominion sit on the Ken Palm and Davidson? And I know Davidson's probably 160, 170.
Old Dominion is 324.
Yeah.
So not good. Davidson is 115. So basically us. We're at 111.
Yeah.
So what did I say that Davidson score was? 104-71.
Yeah, they were 11 to 22 from three, made 15 free throws. Davidson made 11 threes too, so must have had a lot of paint points. Jeez.
I wonder if Big Mo was healthy, because he really is a game wrecker.
Yeah, he played 17 minutes against Davidson.
Okay,
because
they have a 7-footer left.
Yeah, they got size,
but that's it. Like having 2 7-footers is huge. Having one is big. So that helps us a little bit, right? That they can't throw 2 7-footers constantly out there against us.
For sure.
But still, guys, I think we're about to get bodied in the paint. I think we're going to have the advantage from 3. I think our perimeter defense is going to look better than it should be because they just can't buy a bucket. Our press is going to force turnovers. If UCLA showed us anything, they're more than happy to turn it over and panic because they have no confidence at the moment in the basketball. But their size and athleticism, I think, are superior to Michigan State. So I would be surprised if they allowed us to hang in there like Michigan State did. But do we have a line on the game yet?
No, I think we still have wait. As we record Monday, probably have to wait till Tuesday to actually get
if I had to guess, I've never bet on a basketball game. Much better predicting football lines, but I'm gonna guess like a 12 to 15 point spread, if not more.
Yeah,
No, not more than 25. That seems crazy.
No. I need to look up what it was against Michigan State, and then we can kind of play off that a little bit.
I want to say it's like 18, 19 and a half.
That
something
sounds
like
right.
that. Something like that.
Yeah, but we only made 9 threes against Michigan State. Trey Ford went 0 for 2 when he's been playing obviously extremely well over the last 4, 5, 6 games, really.
That's the flip side, though. That's the flip side. Our offense has been clicking a whole lot more. Still moments of just terrible offense. But if anything, we have a little bit more of an identity of who our scorers are. And we have a little bit more confidence in the system, a little bit more. We're not too far removed from the South Carolina State game. So there is some glimmer of hope. I just am not, even with how downtrodden Arizona seems to be, I'm not buying it. I still think we get handled.
Sam, you were right. Michigan State was favored by 6. It closed at 16.5. So yeah, expect around the same kind of teens, 14, 15, 16 area.
Yeah. But hey, if we're hot from 3 and they really, really, really cannot score, then we will win the game. I don't think it's one of those situations where they can do anything they want. They're still gonna have to work for what they get.
And you're gonna see a lot of zone too from Samford. Like they've gotten better at, which they haven't had to do much depending on like the competition. Obviously, you have to change it up a ton to get to Michigan State going zone and man, kind of the same possession. It'll be interesting to see how, if they do that a little bit better this time around too. We should expect a ton of zone against that team like Arizona, again, daring them to shoot from the outside. So yeah, it's just a matter of how the defense has improved in that regard when it comes to confusing Arizona in the half court.
Grant, what are you thinking outcome-wise?
I don't know if... Well, I am a Samford homer if you didn't know that by now.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
One aside, think about your outcome, Grant. One aside, it is so annoying to me that sports journalism, people try to put it on a pedestal of actual journalism. My goodness, it is pure entertainment. No one needs objectivity in a world of pure entertainment. Anyways, Grant, what were you saying?
Except when you're trying to look at players' success after they leave Samford, but
exactly, we need to be
more
super
importantly,
no, I'm just kidding.
If you're trying to make money on a bet, let's be real. But Grant,
yeah,
anyway.
I thought we were fans of mid-major basketball, not celebrating when they leave. The game was we lost Michigan State by 8. I don't know if it'll be that close. I mean, it's a weird game you play because you do feel better again about hanging in there a little bit more from what we saw against Michigan State with the same kind of opponent against Arizona. I just think they have more size on the inside, which would cause Samford a little bit of trouble and have to play Riley and Jaden together. Jaden played 27 minutes. Riley played 16 minutes against Michigan State. I do expect to see both of them out there mixed in with Larry too. It's just a matter of, again, Trey Ford at Michigan State 0 of 5. Jaden Burnell was 3 of 6 from 3. Ryland didn't make anything from the outside. He was basically running all over the place, trying to get the offense in gear. So yeah, I think it'll be close. I definitely think we'll cover whatever the spread in the mid-teens can be, with Samford kind of hanging around and then maybe running out of gas as it did against Michigan State. It's just a matter of keeping Arizona off the glass. Again, they're down 1 7-footer, but they still have another one and another guy. And kind of in their Colin Holloway with Trey Townsend. He's 6'6", averaging 11 points. He doesn't shoot from the outside, but again, like Colin, he's a little more he gets the dirtier work done. So it will be interesting to see those two kind of matched up together as Samford tries to get through the size that they kind of present.
Yeah. Jeb, thoughts, outcome. Are we going to win?
Yeah, I'm going to call the win. I'm going to call this being Bucky's first marquee win with the Samford Bulldogs.
Well, he had wins over Ole Miss, Oregon State.
Yeah, you're right.
Who else did we
beat?
But
but this is a blue blood.
I think that was it. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this would be bigger than those. But yeah, still, those are
right?
big wins.
Yes. Yeah, Jeb, if we
those are big wins. It's just
if we win this game
first, maybe that's a little too, but like it will be
biggest win
best
in 20
win.
years.
Yeah,
I'm sure the 90s had some pretty big wins. Those teams were consistently good, and that was back before the whole blackout scheduling of good mid majors. But I don't think it's that big of a stretch to say this would be the biggest win since then.
I mean, look, it's going to be fun to watch. It's fun to watch for any Samford fan. This is like, I mean, I know we talked about this offline, but like, I think our team this year is maybe better than our team last year. We just need to put together some of the team, like our team's ability to gel, right? And who fits where and what do the lineups look like. If we can get that together, this team's going to be better than last year.
Wow, that's a pretty bold claim considering we don't have the best player from the best team in program history. But yes, anyway, continuing on to Alabama A&M. It's funny, a thought just hit me that we spent a lot of time on Arizona. We're not going to spend that much time on Alabama A&M. The Arizona podcasts are going to not spend a lot of time on Oklahoma, on Samford, and they're going to spend a lot of time on, who do they have next? TCU. They have Central Michigan in between, but let's be real, they're going to be talking about the TCU first conference game. So Alabama A&M, similar trend as Arizona, 4-6, with a couple of close losses coupled with some blowouts. Most recently, they were in a heater with UTC and couldn't do it. Ended up losing 85-63. I think when I checked the score is 65-63 with like 8 minutes left in the game. So I don't know how that transpired, but obviously UTC pulled away. Yeah. They have UAB on Wednesday before they get to our game on Saturday. I like that. UAB hurting for a win. Hopefully take some of it out on Alabama A&M, comes in a little beat up, a little tired, because coming off the Arizona trip in general, much less the physical game that we're going to play, we're going to need a breather and catch our win before an Alabama A&M team that struggles to score the ball, but is not a terrible basketball team by any means. A couple key players here, and then want to hear what y'all have to say. Chad Moodle, 6'8" forward, is their leading scorer. Couple of good things about Chad. He does not shoot threes. And by does not shoot threes, I think he has 4 attempts the entire season. So he literally does not shoot threes.
He's over 3, yeah.
There you go. He shoots less than 50% from the free throw line. So honestly, if he starts taking over the game, boys, foul baby foul. And he
Hack a
leads
Chad.
Exactly. And he leads the team in rebounds and blocks. So like this guy kind of does it all for them. Physical player, but can't shoot a free throw. Could prove pivotal if this game gets tight. Then their point guard, Darius Ford, 5'11", graduate transfer from TCU, leads the team in assists, shoots less than 30%, just under 30% from the arc, and is second in attempted threes. London Riley is their sharpshooter, shooting almost 50% from. This guy is good at shooting the three. Shoots almost 50%. But as our podcast hoax goes, it's never the guy coming into this game that shoots it well that destroys us from deep. It's always like some joker we didn't mention. So you could probably ignore London Riley if you feel like you need to. And then their big man, they do have a 7-footer.
Really?
I'm gonna butcher the name. I apologize, big man. But Salo Sei. Grant, do we have a pronunciation?
I think you're close enough. I can look up the official pronunciation if you want, but
okay,
continue and come back to me.
So the only note on him is I put he's a consistent scorer, not leading scorer, but consistently gets points down low and is second in block. So guy's good. Plus he's 7 feet, so that's always a nice advantage. Overall, not a bad team. They've had their troubles. Obviously, the blowout loss to UTC looks terrible, considering UTC is an average basketball team at this point for the SoCon, but still, they could threaten us. But yeah, thoughts on Alabama A&M?
Hope for UAB's sake they don't go up by 25 points and blow another 25-point lead again. That would be tough. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, it should be the get right game, obviously, depending on what happens in Tucson. But yeah, Ken Palm projects this to be a 90-74 win. It's your last game before Christmas break, going on the road, probably a sleepy environment too. 7:00 on Saturday night, December 21st. So I think it's basically just get in there, handle your business, and get out and go enjoy your Christmas break.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it's in Huntsville.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Alabama A&M was in Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, it's a road game. Guys, that's embarrassing. That just hit me. Okay, that's even better then. They're driving down to Birmingham on Wednesday to play UAB and then going back up. Okay, that helps a little bit even out the travel for us, but that's a dang. Okay, so Kim Palm's projecting a 6-point win.
16 point win.
16-point win. Jeb, any thoughts on Alabama?
Yeah, that sounds about in line. I mean, you look at Alabama A&M's losses; they're pretty brutal.
Yeah,
tough.
Lipscomb 82-44.
Lipscomb, yeah, again, like 82-44. They lost to our conference foe, Chattanooga, 85-63.
They hung with South Carolina State, so
they beat Coastal Carolina, they beat Fisk, and then they beat Arkansas, Baptist, Oakwood. Which are those D2 schools?
I think they're D2.
Yeah, so really their only D1 wins would have been Fisk and Coastal Carolina. So it's just,
Fisk
again,
might
get
also
right
be
game.
D2.
Yeah.
What?
Fisk is D2 as well. Yeah.
D2.
Oh, Fisk is D2? Okay.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point, Jeb.
Yeah, their women's team came to Samford to play our women's team.
So really Coastal Carolina is their only win outside of the Division II. So just looking at that, it's like, okay.
Yeah, we should win handily.
We should, if we don't win this game, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, yeah, but to be frank, we were concerned before the Austin P game, and we lucked out that Austin P was banged up and cruised to victory there. But the South Carolina State and West Georgia games did not exactly inspire a lot of confidence. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we're certainly not riding any kind of hot streak. I don't think anybody would sit here and claim that going into the Arizona game. So depending on how that Arizona game goes, if we're demoralized, my goodness, the Alabama A&M game takes on even more importance because it's our last tune-up before conference play begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as we've said, we have a very soft landing into conference play.
That's a good matchup, by the way, before conference play. It's not.
Yes.
So
it is, but it's also the flip side though is that game's on the 21st. We then take 10 days off until we have a game on New Year's Day against Citadel. I don't know how. Do we always New Year's Day? That feels weird. Not have New Year's Day off.
For some reason, the SoCon decided that was going to be the start of the conference season this year.
How is everybody going to watch Alabama in the quarterfinals?
Everyone wants to watch New Year's Day SoCon basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of football, the Dogs announced this past week that we are headed to Aggie Land as our SEC payday next year.
Love that.
Very excited. Not going to sit here and pretend Jimbo pulled some strings. I don't think he's very well liked considering they still owe him a small fortune of 60, 70, 80 million dollars. But
he loves getting the checks, though. It's all that
loves getting the checks. And I love this, boys. Headed to Texas. We haven't gone to Texas since TCU. I don't think we've.
Sounds right.
I think we have Incarnate Word on the schedule in the future. I don't think we've gone to Incarnate Word recently. But yeah, we got A&M as our SEC game. Very excited to go down there, see Kyle Field. Never been to Kyle Field, even though I lived in Houston for 5 years. Never actually went. Oh, every year, Grant, I was like, I'm going to go to a game. Going to go to a game this year.
It's sick. It's a good spot. Last time I was there was the last true overtime game. That was Joe Burrow's junior year, the 7 overtime game.
You were at that game?
Yeah.
That's sick.
The 74-72. Yeah, that was insane. Yeah.
That's another side. College overtime. Please go back to the real college overtime. It's the best overtime, the most entertaining overtime. We all love that overtime. We do not
start at the 50. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't like 2-point conversion thons. Those are just dumb.
Tough phrasing there. Yeah, it's funny. Samford posted obviously posted the graphic that they're going to Kyle Field, and Ethan, Jimbo's son, who's kicker on Samford's team, just captioned it with "Revenge Tour." Da-da-da.
So good. It was so good. This is not going to be the year we get our first SEC dub. I don't care how good our Samford team is going to be. The Aggies are going to kick us.
Look, it's not happening as long as we schedule SEC teams.
I don't know. There's a couple Mississippi State teams.
Can we schedule Vanderbilt?
This year's Mississippi State team that got beat 49-0 against Toledo. If they play our team from last year or 3 years ago. So yeah, we got the Aggies as our SEC game. Oh, that was one other point. I think the committee saved the FCS games when they officially declared that strength of schedule does not matter. I think all the teams that maybe transferred conferences for the money were exposed because it's literally just for the money. You're not going to get rewarded for playing a tougher schedule. But with that said,
you could be just don't lose to 2 6-6 teams and you won't get in the playoff. So,
well, sure. But it certainly disincentivized big non-conference games, which was very, very surprising to see Twitter be confused about Nick Saban's comments. I thought it was pretty clear what he was saying. So we love that. We love that the committee saved our games. We can just lock it in, boys, and especially when the SEC moves to 9 games. You're telling me they're not going to want an auto dub? You're telling me that? Like, come on. I think we're locked in.
Auto dub. What are you talking about? Auto dub. There's no auto dubs when you schedule SoCon teams. What are you talking about?
Citadel raises their hand when they're playing South Carolina. I think the most recent one. But yeah, right. Anyway, football on a tear. So we talked about signing day. Portal's been open now for a few days. It's Monday the 16th, so I think almost a week by now. But a slew of signings happened today, actually. So we got LaShawn Young, a DB from Miles College. Grant, you pointed out that he led D2 in interceptions. Incredible.
5'11" corner, 53 total tackles, 4.5 TFLs, 8 picks, 14 PBUs. His 8 TDs led all of Division II last year, and it was only his first full year playing college football.
Okay, 8 picks is absurd. Why are they still throwing the ball over his way?
I have no idea.
That's just that shouldn't happen. Joseph Shannon. So this is an interesting kid. D-end, Iowa Central Community College. Only other offer I saw was from Texas Southern, but he did take a visit to Western Kentucky. He can squat 600 pounds. He's 6'3", 250.
Same.
It seems like a lot. So everybody remembers the Michael Pierce video. Michael was squatting 725. So not quite Michael Pierce level.
725. Holy Lord.
But still a lot. I mean, 250 pounds squatting 600. That's going to be an enticing defensive end to watch. The guy I'm most excited for, Hank Weber, D lineman from the Madison, Wisconsin. Big Ten. Scholarship defensive lineman. Only spent his freshman year there before hitting the portal. But a scholarship D lineman, 6'4", 280. Coming out of high school, offers from Purdue, UNLV, obviously Wisconsin, Charlotte, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, several others. But super enticing out of Nashville, Tennessee. I guess he's coming back down south. But I had to do a double take, Grant, Jeb, when I saw like his name and then had Wisconsin, then Nashville, Tennessee. I was like, okay, like Wisconsin Whitewater, Wisconsin Central, what? No, Madison, like the University of Wisconsin, Madison.
Jump around, yeah.
Yeah, kind of sweet. And then the last kid, Colin Dunn, linebacker, Northwest Mississippi Community College. He's 6'1", 223, claims to run a 4.440. It's on his Twitter bio. Take that for what it is. He was offered by Central Arkansas, UT Martin, Ohio. Okay, so we got a MAC team in there. Alabama State and Tennessee State. So from what I can glean, I mean, a pretty promising prospect out of Mississippi. Pretty excited. 4 defenders. We talked about it. We're going to sign a bunch of portal guys. And because we only signed 3 defenders from high school, we're going to see a lot of defensive signees in the portal. And here we go. 4 right off the bat.
Yes, Sam, pulling up Dunn's bio from Northwest Mississippi. He had 105 total tackles last year, 8 TFLs, 4 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. He had a game where he had 23 tackles, 12 solo. That's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Like, okay, similar to LaShawn Young, at some point you just run away from Dunn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just anywhere but where he is.
Yeah, he started at Alabama State, transferred in Northwest Mississippi, and now he's officially signed with Samford. So
Interesting.
cool.
Interesting journey. Yeah, so 4 promising guys. I'm excited. Anything on them before we move on to the state of the SoCon? No?
Surprised it's not a wide
Just hoping
receiver.
we
We just the wide
return
receivers.
To our roots, where we develop some more NFL talent.
I mean, look, it's not out of the question that a Hank Weber or a LaShawn Young could be NFL talent. I mean, Hank is young enough to where the sky is still the limit. And then LaShawn showed enough promise as a ball hawk to where you never know.
They will find you.
They will find you.
It doesn't matter where you are.
100%.
So.
The cream rises to the top, baby.
Whether it's
all right.
Kansas State or Samford, they find you.
Okay, state of the SoCon. Mercer.
Oh my God.
All dreams go to die in the Fargo Dome. North Dakota State's lost 1 game in 20 years in the playoffs there. So Mercer going up there handily defeated. Great run by them and then in the Lenore Ryan transfer squad. But we're finally exposed for what the team I thought they always were. Finally, feels good. Also feels good that they couldn't do what we couldn't do. It's never good when a team from your conference goes up there and accomplishes what you can't. Not a good feeling. So that's one just nice little bit. But the Final Four, we're down to Montana State, South Dakota, North Dakota State, and South Dakota State. All teams in the Missouri Valley. Guys, you have to go back to 2010 before you find a current FCS national champion not in the Missouri Valley, and that's Eastern Washington. But a lot of fun storylines. I mean, North Dakota State trying to reclaim the dynasty after South Dakota State has just stolen it. Their fans are pumped, so they're hosting South Dakota State in what should be an epic matchup. Even if South Dakota State is probably better than North Dakota State, it's in the Fargo Dome, sold out within an hour, gonna be epic. South Dakota State's going for the 3-peat, so they're back-to-back national champs. And then a fun little story. So South Dakota, we can hate on them for being in the Missouri Valley, be jealous of them, whatnot. First Final Four in school history. So good for them. Good for them. Probably going to be cheering for them, just somebody new. I mean, Montana State was fun when they kind of arrived on the scene back in 2018, 2019. Because for a long time there was Montana versus North Dakota State, and then the little brother Montana State finally beat Montana, and it's kind of cool, right? That's kind of cool. But they've been consistently very, very good. So let's cheer for the new guy. Let's cheer for South Dakota.
So it's almost like Tennessee making the playoffs this year. I can't.
I wish Mike was on here. I wish Mike was on here.
That's a cheap shot, I know. But
that was a good shot. You got Georgia as the South Dakota State, basically. There's no North Dakota State equivalent. Alabama would be the closest thing you have to it.
Yeah.
Clemson, I guess, is in there. They're the most recent almost dynasty.
Yeah.
Because I think we can still say Georgia's still within their dynasty run, especially if they win this year. And then, we got Tennessee and the South Dakota. Or you could say Arizona State. Or, that's about it. Arizona State and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Everybody else has kind of been there, done that. Even SMU back in the day had a good team. Maybe not to this level. So let's throw SMU in there. But, yeah. All right. Updated Kim Palm in basketball. We'll just run through this real quick. Samford's at 111, Furman at 121. So staying ahead of Furman there. I still think the net favors Furman, but bump the net. We're only
hold on.
We're only listening to Ken.
Don't bump it just yet. Hold on one second.
ETSU's at 141, Wofford's at 146, UNCG at 148, so a cluster. UTC at 178, and then Mercer 232, Western 315, VMI 341, and Citadel I didn't finish writing the digits, but it's in the 300s. Grant, what did you find on the net?
Citadel is 351st. In the net, Samford is 80. Furman is 82. So how's the view down at 82, Furman?
Oh, sucks to suck.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. The net. Love it.
Yeah, Samford is the highest rated SoCon team in the net right now. So net and KenPom, as of this moment, both favor the Bulldogs, the team that we are homers for. So
And net is what ultimately matters when it comes to quad wins.
correct.
Yes. But
So I'm just calling that out.
I swear I read somewhere that the NCAA committee threw one of these out. And I think they threw the net out, even though it's their creation.
I thought it was the net.
No, I forgot
they threw
what they
something out, but I don't know. It's clearly not the net. I thought it was.
It's not? Oh, then I'm wrong.
No, you're right. No, Jeb, you're right.
Oh, okay. Right.
I'm saying I thought that they had thrown it out, but they threw something else out. Couldn't have been the net.
Yeah, it's not the net. I can't remember what it was.
We have to get our cells together. Hold on. Everyone focus.
Brain
we need to
power.
get our brain cells together.
Go. Yeah, we'll figure
I can't figure this out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go stand in the corner and stare at the wall.
Oh, my God. Okay, there's no update on State of the Bulldogs. We got women's basketball still has TCU on Tuesday.
And the women do have another game as well. Both teams got 2 this week.
Oh, what's their game after? So TCU
we
obviously will have played by the time this airs. And if you made it to this point of the podcast, bless you. But
yeah, leave a like, subscribe to the channel while you're here.
I think these people already are. So
leave a comment, rate, review, all the good things. Samford hosts Florida A&M on Friday, the 20th. So yeah.
Okay. That's a winnable game right there. We're gonna need it because pretty sure TCU is ranked.
Maybe Haley Van Lith and the squad won't be ready for Claire Johnson and her squad.
Yes, they're 12th in the nation. Great. Sick.
So I've been
yes.
And take us back to men's basketball for a second.
Yes.
I've been looking at the bracketology projections since pretty much
it's December.
Like the ending of the tournament. I know.
It's December.
No, I've been looking at it since last year.
Since March.
Yeah, since March of this year. And
it's clean.
Recently, it's been only Furman from the SoCon in the tournament projections. That doesn't matter at this point, but it is. I don't know, just something to call out.
And we still haven't broken into this favorite of the SoCon.
No, and I honestly I like it that way.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we prefer it.
I like it that way. I don't want to be the favorite.
I mean, I say that, but Jeb, remember the media day we were at for football when Furman was voted number 1 and Samford was voted number 2, and the players at the table were like, "Oh yeah, can't believe they voted us number 2. What a chip on the block!" And then we go out and laid an egg. So
yeah, it's worked both ways. I mean, we've said this.
I know I'm messing
like both ways.
But then
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, then we're pick 6, then we end up winning. So
and we're trying to. Yeah, it's
I hear you.
I don't think our basketball team has that perspective, or I don't even think they care.
No, they probably don't care.
It's just win the tournament and you're good.
It's certainly just based on what.
No, they don't care right now to think about and look at that. Like you have games to win now. You got Arizona on Wednesday. You got Alabama and A&M.
It looks to be a 2.5 horse race. So Samford and Furman are the early. Yeah, so I say half. It's going to be either ETSU, Wofford, UNCG, UTC. One of those teams will come out as a true contender. I don't know who it's going to be.
UNCG.
I don't know, dude. I think UTC still ETSU or UTC would still be my guess. But Wofford's,
we know it won't be Wofford, that's for sure.
Filipowicz, not a winning combo.
Hold on, let me check. Let me check his free throw percentage this year compared to last year. Because remember, he was.
I say that he waxes us.
Yeah,
sheesh.
He's 12 of 26 from the free throw line, 46%.
Wofford's 2-2 against UNC.
That was back when they had their boy, Scotty or whatever his name is, Shooter McGavin, whatever his name was.
Is that for me, Sam?
Yeah, no, Wofford, that Wofford kid.
Talking about Fletcher McGee.
It's still
Thank you. Shooter McGavin.
It's still like recency. It's like a recent UNC team's like win.
Yeah, you've been burned. We get it. Now just imagine, Jeb, if Zion had actually stayed home and gone to Wofford. Think about how scary that would have been. Because y'all played that the year he would have been on the team. I'm pretty sure y'all played.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wraps up the episode. Any other comments, boys, before we call it a night?
Just proud to talk with you homers every week.
So proud. Proud.
A few of the proud.
If the Dogs pull off the miracle Wednesday night, expect an emergency live pod. Because that would be epic. And boy, we are here to celebrate the wins for the players currently on the team. With that, the state of the Bulldogs is out. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. And boys, let's hope our Dogs beat the Cats.